Good evening. Being 7 p.m., I'll call to order the McHenry County Board regular meeting of May 20th, 2025. And Mr. Kaminsky will lead us in the pledge tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And for our invocation this evening, Reverend Tom Went from Unity Spiritual Center in Woodstock. Welcome back.
Good evening, everybody. Unity being a spiritual belief system, we see the divine presence in each and every person here today. And so we pray from the affirmative, knowing that the divine power can be expressed and is expressed every moment through each of you. So let's pray. So we call forth that power by first giving thanks to this dedicated and committed group of individuals who carry on the business of McHenry County. Let us be grateful for their commitment to their oath of office and their utilizing wisdom and discernment, guiding all decisions resulting in justice and fairness for every citizen in McHenry County. We know that amid the ebb and flow of ideas, of differing political perspectives and unique personal experiences, that collaboration and communication will lead the way to the best results for the citizens of McHenry County. And so we have declared this so in the name of the living Christ, and so it is. Amen.
Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Altoff. Here. Campbell. Here. Collins. Here. Gadamoller. Here. Greeno. Here. Hendricks. Here. Kaminsky. Present. Kearns. Here. Krieger. Here. Kunkel. Here. Sager. Shorten. Here. Scala. Present. Smith. Here. Sullivan. Here. Thomas. Here. Van Hoff. Present. Von Bergen. Here. 17 present, Chairman.
Okay, having a quorum, we'll proceed. First, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Mr. Scala makes a motion. Mr. Kaminsky seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Against, motion carries. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of previous meetings. Mr. Scala makes the motion. Mr. Shorten seconds. Any discussion or changes? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Against, motion carries. Good evening. Before I present my report to the County Board, I'd like to thank the University of Illinois Extension for hosting the meet and greet with board members prior to our start. On Tuesday, May 13th, County Administrator Pete Austin, Assistant Director of Transportation Scott Hennings, and I traveled to Kenosha County to meet with County Executive Samantha Kirkman to discuss progress our counties have been making on the Midwest Interstate Trail. Both of our counties came together in 2023 to announce the plan to connect both counties' bike trails, and we're excited the project has been moving forward. Also on Tuesday, May 13th, the McHenry County Sheriff's Office cut the ribbon on its new Sheriff's Office Marine Unit facility just in time for the Memorial Day weekend and the start of summer boating season on the Fox River. The new facility is yet another shining example of local governments coming together to make things happen. Thanks are owed to the City of McHenry, the McHenry Police Department, and McHenry Community High School District 156 for making the new unit headquarters a reality. And speaking of new facilities, it's my pleasure to report that the Heart of the Valley Memory Care Unit will officially be opening on June 2nd. Offering memory care to meet a growing need in McHenry County has been a priority for this county board for years, and it's great to see this unit cross the finish line and open its doors. The McHenry County Division of Transportation on Saturday held its second annual Touch a Truck event at the Woodstock Farm and Fleet, and it sounds like the word's gotten out about it. This year saw 1,800 attendees, which was a significant increase over last year's inaugural event. Thank you to the DOT and other government agencies and private organizations that came together to put on a great day of spring fun. Congratulations to leadership Greater McHenry County for their relocation earlier this month to new offices in the old Courthouse Center on the Woodstock Square. Since 2004, LGMC has been an institution that helps cultivate the next generation of McHenry County business, government, and community leaders. Our county wouldn't be the same without them. And thank you to American Community Bank and Trust in Woodstock for giving them a home for the past 18 years. LGMC moved next door to our friends at Naturally McHenry County, which relocated from Huntley earlier this year. They're already making great and innovative use of this space by hosting pop-up events for local makers, small businesses, nonprofits, and event promoters to connect with residents and visitors. Naturally McHenry County is accepting applications for interested people, and you can learn more about the pop-ups on their website at naturallymchenrycounty.com. And finally this evening, in the spirit of Memorial Day, I'd like to remind everyone that the 6th annual Operation Dropbox for Veterans donation drive is still ongoing through May. You still have time to donate needed goods at more than 80 sites across McHenry County. You can find a complete list of needed items and a list of drop-off sites by municipality on the county website at mchenrycountyil.gov. And that concludes my report, and I wish you all a happy and relaxing holiday weekend. Do we have any members that have comments tonight? Ms. Greeno?
Yes, I know that we all received our tax bills this week, and I know that coming up into the budget season, we remember last year that we had the quadrennial reassessment, and we tried very hard to lower our tax rates here in the county, and that we have, for many of us, 12 taxing bodies and 9 pensions on our tax bills, and that many of the other taxing bodies don't have the same perspective on how tax rates affect homeowners. This week, there were reports that in the United States, housing costs are at an all-time high, with interest rates pushing above 7% in many cases to finance homes. And with there being a housing shortage, the valuation of homes are going up. As we're going into, again, another budget session, that not only our county, but every taxing body in this county would do their very best this year to lower these tax rates so that people might be surprised next year and have an actual lower tax bill. Getting a tax bill for commercial and residential properties that are pushing 6 figures is not fun. And it really takes a lot of money out of your pocket that could be going into investments and into the economy, the local economy, and other ways. So let's all do our best in government to help the citizens of this county. Thank you.
Seeing no further member comment, we'll proceed to special recognition. We have a proclamation recognizing May as Mental Health Awareness Month in McHenry County, and Ms. Altoff will read the proclamation.
Thank you. Proclamation recognizing May as Mental Health Awareness Month in McHenry County. Whereas mental health is an essential part of overall well-being, impacting individuals, families, and communities across McHenry County and nationally, and whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our county, our state, and our nation, and whereas early intervention and access to quality care are crucial for managing mental health conditions and improving quality of life, and whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives, and whereas each business, school, government agency, health provider, organization, and citizen share the burden of mental health problems and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention and treatment efforts. Now therefore be it proclaimed by this County Board of McHenry County, Illinois, that it hereby authorizes that the McHenry County Mental Health Board, together with the County Board of McHenry County, Illinois, hereby proclaim the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month in McHenry County, Illinois, as it is in the state of Illinois and in our great nation, and be it further proclaimed that the county clerk is hereby authorized to distribute a certified copy of this proclamation to the county administrator and the McHenry County Mental Health Board, and that it shall be spread upon the records of the McHenry County Board. dated at Woodstock, Illinois, this 20th day of May, 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Althoff. Next, we have zoning petitions. Do any members have items they'd like to remove from the zoning consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the zoning consent agenda. Mr. Smith makes the motion, Mr. Gottemoller seconds. Clerk, could you open the voting, please? Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion carries. Under reports and presentations, we have our very own County Treasurer, Donna Kurtz, to give us a presentation on property tax payment options.
Thank you, County Board members. It's a pleasure to be here. When I asked the administrator and the chairman if I could come, they said, sorry, we're really booked, maybe June or July. And I go, wait, no, it's tax season now. And so Pete goes, well, the only option is, 7 o'clock at the county board meeting. And I said, well, I did that for 8 years. So it's a pleasure to be back here with you guys at 7 in the evening. First off, I want to point out that each of you got a packet. And this is similar to a packet we'll be giving out with our workshops. We started doing workshops all over the county. And I had tax bills that I loaned to people. I said, I want them back. They didn't give them back. They wanted to keep them because they took notes on them. So then I had a brilliant idea. With our printer, I said, I want 500 samples of, kind of dummy data. And so we have Joan and I think it's Joe. Is it Joe and Jane? Taxpayer are the tax bills that you have before you. You don't have to give them back, but you are encouraged to make notes on them. These are a great reference for you and your constituents. And that's really what I want to do today is provide you with some information that'll help you in a big way with your conversations with your taxpayers. One of the things that we all know is so important is developing connections with people and providing a resource to them in need. And taxes is one of those. So with that, first thing I want to do is point out, let's see. Okay, tax tools that you can use. So providing value to your district, that's really a big part of why I'm here today. I want each of you to leave learning at least one thing that you maybe didn't know or how you might explain something. There's a myriad of topics I didn't bring up. So there's a Q&A after this, and I also brought a few extra slides in the back, which I can bring up as well. And you're always welcome to come over to my office and meet up with me, or I'll meet you wherever you want with you and or your constituents. So with that, there's two sides of the coin when it comes to taxes. There's the Madisonian way, which is, hey, you got to do it if you want to have government. And we know how important that is because you're part of it. On the other hand, we have the Calvin Coolidge way, which is, hey, it is criminal to take any more out of someone's pocket than you have to. And therein lies the very difficult decisions that, as Board Member Greeno brought up, it's somewhere in the middle, more than likely, at any given point. One way a little bit here, one way a little bit there, and that's why you guys get paid the big bucks. So the property tax trends that we see today, it kind of makes me cry. We have passed the $1 billion mark in terms of overall tax revenue. But wait till you see how much you, as a county board government, contributed to that. You decreased the amount that would have been there. It's quite substantial. In looking at the numbers over 2019 to 2024, McHenry County government portion of the levy actually decreased almost 6%, whereas the overall county, which is 120 taxing districts, of which 119 may not have been as successful as this county government managed to increase taxes by almost 17.5%. What a huge difference. I encourage you to look at your own tax bill and see how that works. Are you a little more or are you a little less? And if you're a little less, maybe it's because of exemptions, for example. But in any event, there's the table. Let's look at it from a graph standpoint. Again, we see steadily rising taxes, overall tax revenues, with the exception of the county, where we're relatively flat. Even when we went up, we didn't go up by much. And this last year, we saw we went down. Obviously, the Mental Health Board sales tax had something to do with that, but you know what? You still get credit. Great job. But then you got to ask, hey, how about growth? What's happening with growth? All of you are very involved in voting for, various kind of zoning. And so you'd think, well, there's got to be a lot of parcel growth. Well, not really. About 1% growth over the last 6 years, from 2019 to 2024. So we're not seeing a lot of buying and selling in McHenry County or development. So the second reference point that I wanted to bring up, tax trends being one, is the Treasurer's website. It's invaluable to your taxpayers. And we're going to talk about a few of the real key areas and the questions we get. I have a group of 11 staff that I rely on to tell me what are the top 6 questions, because we get them. We get the same 6 questions all the time. And there's other ones besides that. There's some real doozies sometimes, but let's just talk about the 6, because those are the ones you're likely to encounter as well. So that's what we want to do. That's our goal. Let's look at those top 6. And they are, how do I pay? And there's some really great ways to pay. I want to focus on a couple of them. Secondly, what should I do if I don't receive a tax bill? Where do my taxes go? Another part of that question is, why am I paying so much? And that is usually not a friendly question. Get ready, right? What happens if I'm late? We want people to understand that. We want them to be motivated. What is my fair market value? That's an important litmus test in the overall valuation that you might be doing as a taxpayer. Hey, am I paying too much? And why? And then what exemptions did I receive? What exemptions am I entitled to? And that's very important, especially for our older taxpayers. And you certainly want to be tuned into them. So with that, let's talk about how do I pay? And how do I pay? Great resources on our county board site, at the Treasurer's website. I want to point out that, first off, oops, I went a little too fast. There we go. My payment options. I've got some interesting payment options here. Why? Oh boy, somebody's not on my side here. There we go. Okay, how do I pay? So payment options. I want to point out there's a lot of payment options, but there's 3 that I think are the most important. And they're the ones that I think you can really get value in by promoting. The first one is online. Online, like your VIP taxpayer or just the e-check. It's free, it's fast, it's reliable. Don't take a chance on the mail. If you put something in the mail and it gets stuck somewhere, we do have some tools to track it, but you're still taking some chance, especially if you're getting now into the last, let's say, week or so of payment. So we provide, mail and envelopes because we actually track the mail, and we can do that, but don't rely on it if you don't have to, and especially as you get closer. And have that same attitude when you're advising your constituents. But online is one of the really good ones, and phone is phenomenal. Why? It's an 800 number for your older taxpayers who cannot log in to a computer. They don't have a computer, they don't know how to use a computer, but they want to do something quick and easy. Online, all they have to do is have their tax bill in front of them and their checkbook and money in the bank to make their payment, and they can do it. It's super simple, and it's very secure. It's not through our office. It is through our payment processor. We pay the fee. It's the absolute way to go. And then the last one I want to point out is in-person banks. Now, at the Treasurer's office, I think we do the best job you could ever hope for, and we love serving our taxpayers. But some people just don't want to drive all the way to Woodstock, but they do want to pay at a local bank. So we have a list of banks. Some require you to, I unfortunately have to say, many require you to bank there, but some don't. And so I really encourage you to be prepared to answer questions people may have by clicking on this particular, this is the same menu that you'll see on the website. And the online bank, we have them listed there by towns, and it's a great resource. Believe me, you will get many bonus points for promoting any one of those 3 payment ways to go. Next thing is, what should I do if I don't receive a bill? This one, that question is escalated to me all the time because, people are outraged that they have to pay penalties because, doggone it, they didn't get a bill. So, Benjamin Franklin is clicking in each of your heads right now, right? Death and taxes. That's what he said, and guess what? He was right almost 300 years ago. Same thing here. If you buy a house, you know that you have taxes due. And to say, well, I didn't know, is just not going to cut it. Not only that, it's not my opinion, it's state law. So I'm obligated to follow the law, and the law says you got to pay a tax on your property. And it's not in your benefit to argue, it's in your benefit to pay. So if somebody says, I didn't get my bill, guess what? You can go to our website, and you notice the menu says, look up your tax bill. Click on that. It'll take you to what's called the Dev Wedge. And the Dev Wedge is directly hooked up with our database for our tax bills. And you can go ahead and, where the red circle is, go ahead and put in your parcel name or your parcel number or your name or the name of your constituent. And then go ahead and click on tax bill. And you'll get your tax bill. You'll get their tax bill. They'll think you're brilliant. And, get that printed out and come to our office, make your payment, etc. But don't commiserate with people who said, I didn't get a tax bill. Help them get a tax bill, and you can do it online. And that's one of the items in your little packet I gave you. So the next thing is, where do my taxes go? And you guys know the answer to that one. That one is right there on the front of your tax bill. And I do want to remind you that when people complain, that is something, by the way, I do commiserate with people about. And I get very activist-oriented about that. And you know where it starts? In the highlighted area on that tax bill with the phone numbers. The phone numbers are there for them to call and make a real, sincere input. People that serve like you do, you know they care. They wouldn't do it if they didn't care. It's up to taxpayers to provide them input. It's also up to taxpayers to show up and vote, but that's another topic. So that is an important part of the tax bill, and help people, direct them, get them excited in a positive way of, hey, you got to do it, you got to reach out. Okay, what if I'm late? You know, there's a procrastinator bone in each one of us, and I totally relate to that. But you know what helps people overcome procrastination? Knowing that they can solve the problem. What I have here is installment due dates. But you also have these same installment due dates right on your tax bill, and they're right here. So when I look at my coupon, we actually embedded the due dates with the corresponding increase, i.e. the penalty that is associated with that person's tax bill. So each one is specially calculated. Okay, so what happens? I'm late. I missed the June 10th date. It's June 11th. Well, that's okay. You got 30 days to pay before it goes up again. But it's 1.5% each month. It is simple interest. We don't compound the interest, which makes me happy. I mean, I don't like to make it any worse than it has to be. But I always say to people, the cheapest time to pay is on or before the due date, or as soon as possible thereafter. And that's what we have to do, is encourage people so they don't get penalties. So next thing. What's my fair market value? Why, you know, people ask me that, and that is a brilliant question, because right there you know that they are thinking, maybe I got overassessed. You know, is my home really worth, you know, in this case, $194,000? Is it really worth that on the market? If it isn't, then maybe you got overassessed. And that's when you need to be talking to your township assessor. Maybe it's way higher than you thought, and you're like, well, good, I'm going to be all set to sell this sucker and make some money. So, you know, the whole thing of having this as a point of reference is really a great thing for you and your tax bill. Then the last thing is, what exemptions did I receive? This is the perennial, most favorite question that you're ever going to get, and you'll be a winner when you can point it out. And it's right on the tax bill. And you wouldn't believe what we did. We took 5-point fonts and put it into like 12-point fonts so people could really see those exemptions, because frankly, most people that want them are probably people that have trouble looking closely at tax bills. So we wanted to make it easy. So you can see the exemptions are right here, and it's on the back of your tax bill that you have in front of you. I do want to point out a couple things. You see the general homestead exemption, that's $8,000. That last year, the state gave us $8,000 of an increase from, I think it was 6, yeah. Then the senior homestead exemption, they increased that too, from 5,000 to 8. So what that does is it takes your overall value of your valuation and it reduces it correspondingly. So you end up paying less taxes. Then we have other areas like senior homestead, senior freeze, and veteran and disabled exemptions. The senior freeze is huge. I had a county board member ask me about that today. And I want to say this about all exemptions, but especially the senior freeze, and that is this. Encourage people to get this paperwork filed as soon as possible. If they are making overall gross income $65,000 or less, then they're entitled to the senior freeze. The longer you have the senior freeze, the more money you save, because you don't have to end up getting the inflationary assessment that it contributes to the value of your home and thus your taxes. So encourage people to get in there and do that senior freeze as soon as possible, and then to maintain that, because that is an exemption that you have to file every year. It's not like senior a homestead or homestead. Once you got it until you're not in the house anymore. So that's the quick and dirty. And I'd love to have you ask me some questions and see if I know the answer.
Hey, board, there we go. Mr. Kearns.
Thank you, Donna. Hey, on that senior freeze, that $65,000 for the residents, does it make a difference whether that is in the residents, both party, the Mr. and Mrs., or whatever, if the house is in both names?
Yes, it's
Is it
taken.
$65,000 total between the two?
Yeah, and there's some other stipulations as well. So first off, they're going to use the income tax for the property. But anybody that lives in the house will also have their income counted into the overall $65,000. So let's say you have an elderly lady with her daughter living with her. It would be the combined income of the mom and the daughter that would factor into that overall $65,000.
So what if the spouse is in a nursing home?
More than likely, you're still going to have that $65,000, and Alex can drill down into that. But I think if you're still filing a joint income tax, I think you're still going to be faced with that $65,000 hurdle.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
great question. Thank you, Jim.
Mr. Smith?
Oh, thank you. On the back page for who do I contact, I see you have the Dunham Township Assessor listed, but no other township assessors. And didn't like last year, or am I thinking the year before, when you did your presentation, it had all the township assessors listed and their
Yeah.
phone numbers?
Yeah, great job, Larry. I mean, you're throwing me a softball and on two levels, so I'm going to take advantage of that. We have been trying to find real estate on this thing every which way we could, and so what we've done is we automated and actually had our printer put in the assessor for that particular taxpayer. So they live in Dunham Township. Now we just list Dunham Township, and we save all kinds of space. We also save potentially a lot of confusion. So I'm very impressed that you noticed that, and I appreciate you mentioning it. So yeah, we've just made it so much simpler and taken advantage of the skill sets of a really talented printer. But the second softball that I want to thank you for is Larry has just pointed out the back page regarding who do I contact with questions. I also gave you a handout with the extension number of different offices, like the clerk, like the assessor, like myself, that lists in a very abbreviated fashion, who do I call if? Along those same lines, who do I contact with questions? We've got the big four: the township assessor, the treasurer, the county clerk, and the county assessor. These are the big four who can typically solve just about any tax problem. And I should say, we all work together really well. So we want to help that taxpayer. The other thing is, did you know? Again, great information for you to know, because again, you're in a position to potentially be an advisor to any one of your constituents. There's some good information there too. Thank you very much, Larry.
Oh, no, thank you. It's very interesting that you did it, and I think it was a great idea.
Yeah, thank you, Larry.
Any other questions for Treasurer Kurtz? Ms. Greeno?
Yeah, this is just an aside. In the administration meeting last week, I was talking about a report that had talked about the loss of jobs over the last 5 years in the state of Illinois, and then the stark difference in the increase of government jobs in the state of Illinois. And so I had asked for a report for McHenry County alone, and we've had a loss of well, I'll say over 5,000. It's nearly 8,000 over the last 5 years in McHenry County, but an increase of 500 government jobs, which is nothing like the state of Illinois, which was like 19,000. But when you see that kind of a loss just in our county, and you look at the growth, and you were talking about the impact of growth on the, basically the base of the property tax, and yet our taxes keep growing up. You know, when you talk about services, in fact, we have a problem that we need to get out basically specialists and some scalpels and get some x-ray machines in here and MRIs and CAT scans and figure out what the heck is going on. And people need to pick up phones, and different sections of the government like to start talking to each other and really get to the heart of what's going on. We're one tiny little sliver. And here we've got a 10% cut and yet a 17.5% overall increase. And so something has to happen. You can't keep cannibalizing the people who live here. So that's all.
I cannot let you say that without some response. I totally share the concerns that you have stated. And all I can say is recruit people with the passion you have to go into elected offices for those areas that don't have the kind of mentality that the tax cutting thoughts of this county have. I mean, you can't cut so you can't function, but you can cut to the greatest level of efficiencies. And, we just got to recruit more people. And if they ask too many questions, just lie. Just lie. Say, hey, it's great. It won't take any time at all. And before you know it, they'll love it, and they'll be spending 20 hours a week on it. So anyway, thank you guys very much for today. I appreciate it very much, and my staff does too. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Next, we have public comment. First up is Rob Mutert from Warp Core.
Thank you, Chairman Bueller. I'm Rob Mutert, the founder and executive director of Warp Core. I know many of you do know me and what we do for the community, but for the new members of the board, I say welcome. We hope for great things with this board in the future, and I'm just excited to get to know you a little bit better. And I openly invite everybody here to stop by Warp Core if you're ever up on the square, take a minute to see who we are and what we do and how we do it. With this being Mental Health Awareness Month, ironically enough, Warp Core was one of the two recipients of the NAMI Vision of Hope Award this year. And that was a huge shock to me. And it was also a great honor for me to look at this little organization that I built and am growing here in the county in the social service space to help people. A great honor to be given that award from such an amazing organization as NAMI. It really means a lot. That was not an award for Rob Mutert. That was an award for the 10 people that work for Warp Core, tirelessly work to help people where they need the help, when they need it. That was just a great honor for our whole core to receive that. On that note, I think Chairman Bueller, it's almost been 5.5, 6 years since you first took the time to sit down with me at our bricks and mortar facility on the square to talk about the vision I have and the things I think that are really important to this community. All the things y'all got to deal with every day are vastly important and a heavy load to carry. And I applaud you for taking these jobs to do the work. But I believe that part of the solutions that we face as a community and as a nation are kind of overlooked at times. Prevention through engagement is the mantra of Warp Core from day one till this moment. We need, and I believe we have developed programming that are part of the solution to the problems. We have to get the kids squared away before they get what I call BC, before they're corrupted with the realities of the world, of drugs, undiagnosed mental health support, all the things that drive people to ultimately, in many cases, end up unhoused in the community. We serve all three areas of this: workforce development, prevention through engagement with youth, and street outreach for the low income, which is a huge demographic that we've seen in the growth area of Warp Core and the unhoused members of our community. This is a great thing. We're motivated every day to do the work, and I just wanted to make sure this county board understands who I am, who our organization is, and that I do believe in my heart no one in this room wants drug-free communities more than Rob Mutert. No one in this room wants safer communities for all of our residents than Rob Mutert. We can do this, but it's going to take a lot of work. And quite honestly, you know, as I said to Chairman Bueller when I first met him, I'm not going away. We are here. I just need your help to show you that we can make McHenry County even more kick-ass than it already is. Thank you.
Next is Michelle Cox from U of I Extension. I did neglect to mention we have a 3-minute time limit, so thank you.
Make sure you put the red bell on, but I think I'm prepared. So good evening, Chair and members of McHenry County Board. My name is Michelle Cox, and I am the County Director for University of Illinois Extension, and we are outreach education. So we bring research-based information from University of Illinois, and then we provide outreach education to the communities. And wasn't going to say anything tonight, but I have to say thank you. Thank you for your generosity, financially, sweat equity, and for your time. And thank you for coming to have dinner with us if you were able to. And if you weren't, we'll be around again. And I wanted to say that what I learned tonight, I spoke with quite a few of the board members, and what I learned tonight is that I spoke to a lot of public servants, not a lot of, as you said, politicians. I spoke with a lot of people that have a heart for the communities that they serve, and that's why they're here, which aligns with Extension's mission. And I just wanted to share, and we'll have some impact reports. In the past, we've, sent an invoice and received a financial contribution, and we've sent the nice thank you letter. But this time, I'm about 2.5 years in, I thought we'd show up and personally say thank you for your contribution and the alignment with Extension. In the impact report, for my part, I wrote that Extension touches lives, strengthens communities, and reminds us that there's there's a power in partnership. Together, we've made it possible for us to work toward creating communities that are not only thriving and innovative, but also truly inclusive and healthy. Thank you for helping me do that. But with that, I also wrote, we still have more lives to touch, dreams to nurture, challenges to face, and I want you to know that we are very eager to begin to partner and hear your voices in terms of what your constituents need, and maybe not so much of what we think they need. And so you should see us in the communities, and we'll be attending the board meetings, and most of all, you'll see us in your townships doing what you need us to do. So thank you so much for your time and your support to us. Thank you.
Okay, we have one item under new and unfinished business. I'll entertain a motion to approve item 14A, which is resolution authorizing temporary compensation for mental health board during staff executive director vacancy. Ms. Campbell makes the motion. Mr. Gottemoller seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you open the voting, please? Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion carries. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the appointments to the Community Development Housing Grant Commission and McHenry County Conservation District. Ms. Von Bergen makes the motion. Mr. Kern seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you open the voting, please? Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion carries. Standing committee chairs, do any chairs or liaisons have reports for us tonight? Ms. Campbell?
Yes, just real briefly, on Thursday, I mentioned we were having our EMA quarterly meetings, so Local Emergency Planning Committee did meet briefly. The bill regarding hazardous materials spills around schools is still pending. It would be challenging if this goes through, but certainly we'll be in compliance. Compliance would be required within 1 year publication of guidance, which is expected July 1st, 2026, so we'd be in compliance in 27 then. The coordinating council followed right after that. Our new EMA resiliency coordinator was introduced. His name is Peter Dawson, so he was at the meeting and was introduced to the group. Amongst other things that were discussed, we had a presentation by the American Red Cross. The program manager, Yasmin Clinton, gave the speech presentation along with Olivia Teach, her program specialist. Really, right now, there's a couple things that are going on that I thought was kind of interesting. Currently, the House bill is being looked at to allow Red Cross to bring in medical professionals who don't have licensing in Illinois. Other states already allow this. They're waiting for updates, but this would really help with the ability to meet the needs during a disaster. And the other thing they were trying to make a real big point about was they're always looking for shelters in the event of a disaster. So types of locations could be churches or community centers. Looking at congregate housing where they could fit about 30 people, should be within about a 20-minute drive of where the disaster is. And another thing that came up was another question and something they're concerned about is in a big disaster, where do all the farm animals go? There needs to be places for them as well. They will come and train for sheltering, not only the agencies, but the volunteers. They can run tabletop scenarios. And they do just say that the MCC is a de facto location because by law, community colleges can open their doors to emergency responders. But local governments, if they need assistance and it hasn't been declared, they certainly will provide supplies and other support, even if they're not leading the disaster. And that is about it. Thank you.
Seeing no other reports or updates, do any members have items they'd like to remove from the routine consent agenda? Mr. Scala?
17B27.
Any others? Seeing none, Mr. Scala?
Well, you want to do?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll entertain a motion to approve the routine consent agenda, less item 17B27. Ms. Greeno makes the motion, Ms. Altoff seconds. Clerk, could you open the voting, please? Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion carries. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 17B27. Mr. Scala makes the motion, Ms. Altoff seconds. Discussion, Mr. Scala.
Yes, as I talked about at the committee, the whole meeting, I'd like to amend the budget policy in section 16, removing the language that says majority of reclasses requested outside the budget process shall be considered by the board only at the April and July meetings of the current budget year. So I'd like to make a motion to amend that and strike that language.
Okay, do we have a second? Mr. Collins seconds. Any discussion on that motion to amend? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. We're back to our original motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you open the voting, please? Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion carries. Next are our ordinances for review. We've got two. For action tonight, we've got 4 of them. Take these one at a time. Yes, according to the clerk. I'll entertain a motion to approve item 18B1. Mr. Smith makes the motion. Mr. Gottemoller seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none. Clerk, could you open the voting, please? Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion carries. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 18B2. Mr. Gottemoller makes the motion. Ms. Altoff seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you open the voting, please? Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion carries. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 18B3. Mr. Gottemoller makes the motion. Mr. Collins seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you open the voting? Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to approve item 18B4. Mr. Gottemoller makes the motion. Ms. Campbell seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please open the voting. Voting is open. Have all voted who wish? Motion does not carry. Pete, you got a report for us tonight?
I wanted to thank Chairman Bueller and Finance Chair Scala for meeting with Carrie and I and Alicia this late afternoon, kind of walking through what we're going to be presenting to the full board at the Committee of the Whole next time we all gather in June. We're going to be looking at kind of the development process for the fiscal 26 budget, and we kind of just sketched out how we kind of want the information to flow, but I feel good about what we got accomplished today, and I just wanted to thank Mike and Mike for that. The only other thing I wanted to note was we found out today that today was the last day our sheriff's deputies were going to be assisting up in Hebron. I know that's been a role that they've kind of taken on for much of this year, and I know the village of Hebron appreciates the sheriff's help, but they've got a new chief on board, and the service ended today, so just wanted to pass that along to you. Thank you.
Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Scala makes the motion. Mr. Kaminsky seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. Have a great night.